What's our position, Roger? Captain Strong called into the intercom. Space Quadrant B, Section 23, sir, replied Roger from the radar bridge. But I can't see a thing on the radar. That static flash Tom sent out is scrambling everything. But you're sure this is our position? Yes, sir. I checked it 3 times. All right, then, said Strong grimly. There's only one thing to do. We're too near the asteroid belt to use the Polaris without radar, so we'll search in jet boats. Astro. We're parking right here. Give me full braking rockets and secure the power deck. Then prepare the jet boats for flight. Aye, sir, came the reply from the Venusian. The ship bucked under the tremendous power of the braking rockets and came to a dead stop in space. Strong dashed up the ladder to the radar bridge where Roger was still hunched before the radar scanner. Any chance of switching the scanner to another frequency and offsetting the effects of the static, Roger? Asked the Solar Guard captain. Roger shook his head. I don't think so, sir. The interference would have to be eliminated at its source. Well, sighed Strong, to go looking for Tom without the help of radar would be like looking for an air bubble in the ammonia clouds of Jupiter. And we don't even know if he's still aboard the Avenger or not. You know, sir, said Roger speculatively, I've been thinking. I might be able to get a fix on this interference. A fix? How? By blanking out the radar range, so that it would only work at one point of the compass at one time, then testing each heading separately until the flash appears. When it does, we'd at least know in which direction to blast off and trail Coxine. If you can do that, Roger, exclaimed Strong, it would take us right into Coxine's lap. Do you think you can work it? I can try, sir. All right, then, decided Strong. Astro and I will take the jet boats and go looking around. Meantime, you stay aboard and try to pinpoint the heading on that flash. Very well, sir, replied Roger, and turned to the radar to begin the complicated task of rewiring the instrument. Strong went directly to the jet boat deck where Astro was busily preparing the jet boats for flight. He looked up when Strong entered the hatch. All ready, sir, he said. Very well, said Strong. I'll take number 1, you take number 2. We're in section 23 of Quadrant B. You take section 22 and I'll take 24. Yes, sir, replied Astro. Do you think there's any chance of finding Tom? I don't even know if he's out here, Astro. But we can't be sure he isn't. So we'll search and hope for the best. Very well, sir. Keep your jet boat audioceiver open all the time and maintain contact with me. Why not contact Roger here on the Polaris, sir? Asked Astro. He's busy trying to find out where the flashing static on the radar is coming from, explained Strong. We'll make wide circles, starting outside and working in. Blast in a continuous circle inward, like a spiral. If there's anything around here, we'll find it that way. Yes, sir, said Astro. I sure hope Tom is okay. Best answer I can give you, Astro, is to blast off and find out. The two spacemen climbed into the small craft, and while Strong opened the outer lock, exposing them to the emptiness of space, Astro started the jets in his boat. With a wave of his hand to Strong, he roared away from the sleek rocket cruiser. Strong followed right on his tail. They circled the Polaris twice, establishing their positions, and then roared away from each other to begin their search. Astro turned his midget space vessel toward the asteroid belt, ahead and below him. Choosing a large asteroid that he estimated to be on the outer edge of Section 22, he roared full power toward it. The tiny space bodies that made up the dangerous path around the Sun, between Mars and Jupiter, loomed ahead ominously. Moving toward them under full rocket thrust, the Venusian cadet remembered fleetingly stories of survivors of space wrecks, reaching the airless little planetoids, only to die when help failed to arrive. He shuddered at the thought of Tom, a helpless castaway on one of the asteroids, waiting to be saved. Astro clenched his teeth and concentrated on the search, determined to investigate every stone large enough to support an Earthman. Miles away, no longer visible to Astro and out of sight of the giant rocket cruiser, Captain Strong felt the same helplessness as he approached the asteroid belt from a different angle. He realized any number of things could have happened on the pirate ship. Tom could have been captured, or if not yet discovered, unable to escape from the ship. Strong's throat choked up with fierce pride over the gallant effort Tom had made to warn the solar guard of the Avenger's position. As he neared the outer edges of the belt, he concentrated on guiding his small ship in and around the drifting asteroids, his eyes constantly sweeping the area around him for some sign of a drifting spacesuited figure. What Strong really hoped for was the sight of a jet boat, since in a jet boat, Tom would have a better chance of survival. The young captain reached the outer edge of his search perimeter, turned the small ship into a long sweeping curve, and flipped on the audioceiver. Attention! Attention! Jet Boat 1 to Jet Boat 2. Come in, Astro. Across the wide abyss of space that separated the two men, Astro heard his skipper's voice crackle in his headphones. Astro here, sir, he replied. I'm beginning my sweep, Astro. Any luck? Not a thing, sir. All right. Let's go, and keep a sharp eye out. Aye, sir, replied Astro. He could not keep the worry out of his voice, and Strong, many miles away, nodded in silent agreement with Astro's feelings. The Avenger had long since disappeared and Tom was left alone in space in the tiny jet boat. To conserve his oxygen supply, the curly-haired cadet had set the controls of his boat on a steady orbit around one of the larger asteroids and lay down quietly on the deck. One of the first lessons he had learned at Space Academy was, during an emergency in space when oxygen was low, to lie down and breathe as slowly as possible. And, if possible, to go to sleep. Sleep, under such conditions, served two purposes. While relaxed in sleep, the body used less oxygen and should help fail to arrive, the victim would slip into a suffocating unconsciousness, not knowing if and when death took the place of life.